Ooh, the ball is rolling. All right. Now, hello all. My name is Danny Brown, and I'm going to be video recording this assignment. I'm also going to upload it to my page because the topics which my beloved professor gives are the greatest. They make me think, they make me ponder and make me question myself and question my beliefs. And I think that's what education should be about to some degree. I believe that it's all about personal growth as well as increasing your knowledge and your understanding. So let's get this started. Okay, so my assignment is based on the top 10 ways, the top ways that race and race and stereotypes are themed into almost everything that is done in America, especially when it comes to entertainment. I won't say everything, but definitely entertainment. There's a lot of rules that say that you can say certain things, and there are a lot of different groups, and people become offended. And we all know how strongly a person can affect you when they feel offended. So my assignment is going to be based on Dave Chappelle's controversial stand-up comedy skit. It's called Sticks and Stones. Now, if you've seen this before, just chill out. Just chill out. I'm not going to do nothing crazy. I'm not going to say nothing overboard. I'm going to be extremely conscious about my choice of words, and I'm going to get this out. I don't aim to offend anyone, but the stand-up comedy skit was extremely controversial. But I'm going to remind you that this assignment is only considering the racial theme which was implanted in this skit. And although it was a comedy skit, it was very, very insightful. It was very, very truthful, and it also made me think, more about what's going on in America. Mr. Chappelle's words, some of his comments and his points of views are not very popular among certain groups. So I want everyone to know that, like I say, I don't aim to offend anyone. I'm there for it. All right, so the first topic I'm going to talk about is the portion where he speaks about abortion. At first he started, he claimed that 15 states within the United States of America had just recently passed the most stringent abortion laws. We all know that abortion has been a hot topic across America for, decades, probably before I was born. But, because I chose to do a portion or, look into this portion of the skit, I had to do some researching. So I went to, where is that? It's right here. Health.gov. And they did a report. They did a survey, and they sampled 100,000 women in New York. 100,000 women in New York. And according to this survey, black women were reported to have undergone abortions more than any other race. In that year, it was 2016, which I derived the information. Black women had almost 30,000 abortions, and they were number one leading in that state. Secondly came Hispanic and Latino women. They had the second highest abortions. And third came white women. They had the third highest abortions. Now, the margin between black women having abortions and number two, Hispanic women having abortions, the margin was large. It was like, did I spit? I might have. It was close to 11,000. And, you know, they were actually very close with white women. I think it was Hispanic and Latino women had something like 19,858 abortions, and white women had 19,357. I got an elephant memory. I'm cold. You know, abortions within that year. And like I said, that was recorded in 2016 from a sample of 100,000 women who came, who were in New York. And then the fourth and fifths, I didn't really go to them because actually it was, I kind of felt that that was the order. Actually, I thought that white women would have came first, but something in me told me like that is the order. So that is the order as it pertains to women who have undergone abortions. Black women, number one. Latino and Hispanic women, number two. And white women, number three. Okay. Although this is a sample, we can't let this information just run away. You know, like it kind of broke my heart a little bit because I'm like, oh, you know, all them babies, and you know, I love kids and stuff like that. But we also have to consider the demographics in that state and all states. You know, in that state, Caucasians are the prevalent racial group. They make up 60% of that population. And you know, like I say, I'm not a mathematician, but you know, if if white people, or you know, Caucasian people make up 60% of the population, and white women are you know, having abortions at the rate that they are, you know, like I said, they were number 3 on that list. You know, some mathematicians may say that, you know, white people are beginning to become a minority. The Hispanic and Latino community only made up 19% of the population. And that shocked me because, you know, we watch movies and stuff like that about, you know, movies based on New York, and we meet people from New York, and, you know, most of them seem to be biracial or, you know, Hispanic, but they only make up 19% of the population. And blacks only make up 14% of that population. However, you know, if you add the blacks and Latinos together, you know, that's you know, that's I mean, you're getting closer to 60%. You're not there yet, but you're getting closer. But, you know, you have to consider at the rate at which, you know, black women are impregnated. Like I say, in that state, in that year, they had 30,000 abortions. 30,000 abortions, and white women had 19,000 abortions. So you would have to imagine if all the black women had went forward with their pregnancies and not just that year, the next years that, are coming. And then you add that group with the Latino and Hispanic community, because together we are all considered minorities. If you add that together, it's possible that Caucasians could become a minority in the United States of America. And this is one of the top 10 ways which race and stereotypes came into effect in this skit. I mean, although it was a joke, it really wasn't a joke. 15 states passed some very serious abortion laws. So you would have to consider, or, maybe ask yourself why they did it, or, I don't want to come up with some old conspiracy theories and stuff like that, but, surely I have my own opinion about it, which I will not share. Thank you. The second one, the second portion, which I'm going to speak about, is when Dave Chappelle talks about Mr. Jussie Smollett. I have to watch myself because I might say Smollett. I don't want to be disrespectful, but, if you haven't heard of Jussie Smollett or Smollett, I'm sorry. If I'm saying his name wrong, please forgive me. He's a famous actor who was casted in the show Empire. And if you haven't heard what he has done and what has happened to him, then I will ask you, what earth are you living on? Or what planet are you living on? Because recently, Mr. Jussie Smollett has been sentenced to 150 days in jail for lying to police about a hate crime. Now, I don't know if you guys are so familiar with the law. I'm a criminal justice major, and my teachers tell me time and time again, a hate crime is a federal offense. If you commit a murder, I mean, you could get life, depending on the charge, if it's manslaughter or, but if that charge is considered a hate crime, that's a federal offense. So what he did, the story that he told was a serious crime. I mean, even if they had made suspects or, had suspects and arrested them, they could have faced a federal offense. So, and, honestly, 150 days is light. That's light because, that's a federal offense. And, he claimed that, while he was in New York, two men wearing MAGA hats, which stands for Make America Great Again. It was the famous campaign theme for Donald Trump's campaign, So what he tried to do was say that, two men who supported former President Trump, had assaulted him, and did that based on him being a black man, not based on him, acting as a, as a homosexual in the show Empire. And the show Empire is, I don't know what it is now, but, over the past 5 years, it's been considered one of the top 5 TV shows. It's been going on for a long time, but, during his presidency, former President Donald Trump, he offended many people, and, he was not popular among the minorities in America, and they did not approve of his presidency. Sorry, I'm stuttering. They didn't approve of his presidency at all. And as you can see, they didn't approve of it to the extent where someone lied on him or not lied on him, lied on his supporters, and said, that someone who supported him assaulted him for being African American. So again, top 10 ways that race came into play within this skit. Dave Chappelle even, he expressed how, he, along with, the other minority groups, wanted to support Mr. Smollett within that time, but due to the facts not adding up, a lot of people didn't support him. A lot of minorities did not support him. So in March of this year, which is 2022, Mr. Smollett was sentenced to 150 days in jail for his crime. I think that was like March 11th. Yeah, so he was sentenced to 150 days, and that's light because, like I said, if someone had been charged with that crime, that is a federal crime. Like, you are going to do a great percentage of your jail time. They are most likely going to be successful in their trial against you. And, although, people had their reservations about former President Trump, lying is not cool, especially to the authorities as they aim to protect us all. Right. So, lastly, I'm going to speak about the portion where Mr. Chappelle explained how he was summoned by a representative of the network which his show was being aired on. And he said that he had been summoned due to some derogatory comments he had made about the LGBTQ community. He explained that he was told that he couldn't say a derogatory word, one which starts with F and ends with T, which we have all heard coming up, but nowadays, as we are evolving as a society, we are not tolerating that type of language, and she told him that, he couldn't say that word on, their network. And Mr. Chappelle explained that he replied, well, I say the N word with impunity, I'm quoting what he said. He said, I say the N word with impunity, and no one says anything to me. But, I say the F word, which ends with a T, and, you order me down here. The first chance you get. So he also explained that the representative said, well, Dave, that's because you're not gay. And Mr. Chappelle replied, well, I'm not an N-word either. And that was a very wise choice of words by him. Like, at first I think that angered me a lot, but the entertainment business is a different business, one that I would not really want to be in because I don't want to play dirty like that. But yeah, that was another way that race came into play. And also the stereotype which came into play was with the LGBTQ community. As a community, they have grown, they have become stronger, and we have to be thankful because they are creating a space for everyone, even people who are who don't identify with the group, but they are giving people the power to express themselves. Like, I never would have got a tongue ring, back in my day. I would have never got a nose ring back in my day. Like, although I don't identify with that group, they are still giving people the power and the confidence to express themselves in any way that they want to without being judged or assaulted, because, years ago, people who identified with that group were assaulted. Some killed themselves. Like, even though some of us hold our religious beliefs and values or, things of that nature, no one should be made to feel like they have no other option but to kill themselves. Like, that is un-American, and it's not humane, because we are all in this together. I'm actually going to add one more portion that Mr. Chappelle shared. He shared how, the racist people, or, Caucasians in America would always tell us tell black people to go back to Africa. And, I have a reservation about that. Like I say, they don't want us going back to Africa. Because, if I go back to Africa, which, the United States of America is my homeland, based on my ancestral history. They don't want African Americans going back to Africa, because, look, we're going to take all the women with us. We're going to take your women with us. And, we're going to take all of the little entertainment money, all the little funny jokes, all the good music. You don't want us going back. And then, look, ain't nobody going to be here to do the work. So, he explained, like, they don't want us to go back to Africa. We are the group, the minority groups, especially black people. We are the group that holds America together. We are the group that we entertain everyone. We set trends. We give everybody a space to kick back and kind of laugh, and people love watching us, because it's just a swag. But that was another way that was another time that race came into play in this skit. And although it was comical, it was very insightful. Like, you laughed, but at the same time, he made you think, like, whoa, like, that is right. And I think that he said that he wouldn't air on that network anymore, because he would not be prohibited to behave a certain way, or he's not going to let people make him behave a certain way. So that is the end of my assignment. It made me think. It made me question some things. I did a little research. I was staggered by what I found somewhat, but it's just another topic to bring us closer to reality. But with that being said, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank my beloved professor and my fellow students. Hope you guys have a great Easter weekend and a safe weekend.